What is up, Space Pirates? I am the captain of the fandom's revenge, the ever-charming Dr. Disaster, and today I wanted to discuss that feeling we all get sometimes where we just know that we are getting sick and there's nothing we can do about it. Your stomach is about to lurch, and there's nothing you can do to change that. You just have to prepare. And that is where Disney and all their flunkies in the media are right now when it comes to the upcoming MCU film, The Marvels. This movie is about to bomb at the box office. They know it, we know it, it's all over but the crying and, of course, the cleanup. How do I know this is going to be a flop of a movie? Well, first of all, the mainstream media has sorta kinda turned on Disney on this one. They see the writing on the wall and they aren't even trying to cover for it. As I said yesterday, the reviews for the film are coming in and they are not good. But more than that, the box office projections are coming in and numbers do not lie. And these numbers for Disney's The Marvels, yeah, they are going down, down, down. In this video, we are going to take a look at the updated opening weekend projections for this piece of crap movie, The Marvels, and we will have a good laugh at it. And then we will follow that up by taking a peek at another metric that I enjoy using, which assures me that these arrogant tossers in charge of the MCU are about to get throttled by a completely disengaged audience.
I don't care.
I don't give a rat's ass.
Oh my God, I don't care!
Nobody cares.
Just a quick reminder before we move on to like this video, which really helps with the algorithm, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. In any event, let's have a look at this article from Rant, which showcases the downgrade in box office projections for The Marvels, backing up my faith that this movie is going to tank.
It's so gratifying to leave you wallowing in the mess you've made. You're screwed. Thank you. Bye.
The headline reads, "The Marvels box office projections drop even lower just before release day." The Marvels box office predictions continue to surprise fans, although not for the reasons the Captain Marvel sequel likely hoped for. I take a little bit of contention with that. I just don't actually think that a lot of fans are surprised by the box office predictions of this film. I think that a lot of fans expected this movie to not do well at the box office because a lot of fans probably didn't plan on going to this movie in the first place, but I digress. The article continues, "The Marvels' box office projections have plummeted only days before the Captain Marvel sequel hits theaters. If these box office predictions prove correct, The Marvels will have a lower opening weekend than a notable box office disappointment for Marvel Studios." While Captain Marvel opened to box office success that culminated with a $1 billion plus worldwide total, its sequel has been mired by discouraging reports. In addition to claims that the Marvel's reshoots and test screening responses did not fare well, the sequel has seen underwhelming box office projections that have not improved as its release date approaches.
Oh no.
I mean, this is like what I've been saying all along. The racial and gender component of the MCU phases 4 and 5, the part where they tout the main character's race and gender, their immutable characteristics, instead of the story and awesomeness of the character as a person, that was always a gimmick. And gimmicks don't work for long. people quickly get bored, and people are well and truly bored of the MCU right now. Captain Marvel was well positioned in between the two Avengers films, and they suckered in a bunch of wokesters who would do anything to support their worldview, but the dust is settling. Captain Marvel is no longer the current thing, so the woke swarm of locusts have moved on. Captain Marvel is the Ukraine of the MCU.
That is correct.
Anyhow, the article continues. Deadline reports that The Marvels is projected to earn around $60 million in its opening weekend at the domestic box office. This is a notable decrease from The Marvels' box office projections of $75 to $80 million from roughly 3 weeks ago. Worse yet, tracking services like Quorum predict a less optimistic domestic opening of $50 million plus. Overseas, The Marvels is projected to open with $80 million, giving the sequel a worldwide box office debut of roughly $140 million. Conversely, the first Captain Marvel opened with a $153.4 million opening in the US and $456.7 million worldwide. Now, for all of you math nerds out there, that means the film is tracking for less than 33% of the original film.
I don't care what universe you're from, that's gotta hurt.
If these box office projections hold up, The Marvels' worldwide opening weekend gross will fall behind the debuts of Eternals and Black Widow, which respectively opened to $160 million and $148 million globally. Another worrying sign for The Marvels is that its pre-sale numbers are roughly $5 million, on par with The Flash. The Warner Brothers and DC movie is hardly one to emulate, as The Flash was a box office bomb. Adding to the concerning news is the possibility that The Marvels' opening weekend numbers will drop further to $40 million plus if Thursday previews come in at around $6 million. Fans believe there are signs that Marvel Studios is worried about the Marvels' box office fortunes this weekend. The recent promos and the final trailer focused on past Avengers teammates and foes and teased a huge X-Men connection in the Marvels. You may recall I covered this a bit yesterday. That video, that trailer, was a pathetic attempt to get you to remember them member berries. It just isn't going to work this time, though. Anyway, the article continues. Some fans view this as a desperate last-minute push to engage fans by recalling past successes and hinting at the X-Men finally joining the MCU when the focus should be on the trio of female leads, a long overdue event for any superhero franchise. Why? Why is it long overdue? Why do we specifically need 3 female leads? Have we ever had a movie in the MCU with precisely 3 male leads? I mean, maybe we have. I just don't remember because I don't give a rat's ass. Nobody should, because there's always a next horizon to chase after. Why don't we have a movie with 4 female leads? Why not 5 or 6 or 20,000? Anyhow, the article's final paragraph reads, while some believe The Marvels is being set up to fail, the lackluster promotional campaign could be partly attributed to the ongoing actors' strike, which has prohibited the cast from promoting the film. Trust me, my dudes, the fact that Brie Larson isn't promoting this piece of crap personally is a major boon for this film. The woke weirdos were already on your side. That is the only kind of person that she can attract. You can only repel people with crap like this.
So earlier this week, USC Annenberg's Inclusive Initiative released findings that 67% of the top critics reviewing the 100 highest grossing movies in 2017 were white males.
Hell! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Still, the Marvels' box office projections continue a trend of disappointing financial numbers for the MCU that predate the strike. If the Marvels can earn rave reviews on par with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which was a box office success, perhaps it can turn around these low numbers. Otherwise, Marvel Studios is likely preparing for more bad news. Yeah, it's gonna bomb, guys, and if you still don't believe it, and I know there are people out there who want to keep on arguing with me, then have a look at this. This is a Google Trends chart, tracking how often the Marvels has been searched up in Google's search engine. It doesn't show us precisely how many times it's been typed up, but it will show us the term's popularity relative to other terms. It's a great way to gauge interest in a film, and if we compare the Marvels to its contemporaries this year, well, it doesn't bode well for Disney and Marvel. As of the time of this recording, the Google Trends data only goes through the week of October 9th through November 4th. That's the week before the movie releases. You'll notice the Marvels is represented by the line in blue, and I have Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny plugged in as well, represented by the red line. If we look at how popular Dial of Destiny was in the week leading up to its release, we see that it reached 15% of its peak at that point. And the Marvels is on precisely the same pace. The numbers for the Marvels last week reached 15% of Indiana Jones at its peak. It is on pace to do as well as Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And if you remember, the Dial of Destiny was a major bomb. It took in less than $400 million worldwide at the box office. Now, let's compare the Marvels to another film that came out this year, which bombed, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. For the week of February 5th through the 11th, Ant-Man, represented by this line in yellow, reached 22% of its peak. Now compare that to Indiana Jones and the Marvels, who both reached only 12% of Ant-Man's peak. The Marvels is nearly half as popular on Google as Ant-Man was, and that does not bode well, considering that Quantumania only made about $476 million worldwide at the box office. Now, let's do one final comparison. We have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 represented by the line in green. This was the only MCU film to actually make money this year. And if we look at how the search term of that movie performed on Google, we see that in its week leading up to the release, it reached 19% of its peak. Meanwhile, the Marvels only reaches 7% of that number, which means that the Marvels is outclassed by Guardians by a factor of almost 3-1. Any way you slice it, the Marvels looks to be doomed. Stay tuned, folks, it releases tomorrow. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.